Where am I getting too comfortable? Where am I making excuses to avoid the pain that actually leads to growth? You see, the only way to build the light that guides your future is to walk through the storm that shapes you. It's not supposed to feel easy, but really, are you okay settling for a watered down version of yourself? I keep reminders and notes all around my place just to push myself to act. Because if I'm being honest, I've let old wounds and fears block me from seeing who I could really become. You know, our minds, they love the easy road. They do. But easy roads rarely lead anywhere worth going. You've got to open up your perspective. You've got to stretch your limits and stop letting hard seasons write your entire story. How often do you pick the safe option instead of taking a risk? I do it more than I want to admit. It's easy to stay in comfort, but if you never face the hard part, how can you ever change them? I believe you can't grow if you won't name what's holding you back. And here's the sobering truth. About 92% of people never reach the goals they set. Did you hear that? 92%. Not because they're not capable, but because comfort becomes the priority. I started journaling about my fears, failures, and habits I didn't want to keep. And you know what? It was the first time I stopped letting my past steer my future. What if you took the wheel next? Depression rates sharp rising for people who lose their physical strength or mobility. So every setback can either define you or refine you. You choose. Think about how your self image got shaped. Words stick. Sometimes they crack the way you see ourselves. But I remind myself about my strengths even when it feels forced because those cracks don't have to be permanent. You can repair your lens one belief at a time. And then there's the grind. We glorify it, right? But what are you grinding for? You know, each morning I check in with myself. I ask, is this about progress or motion? I believe busy doesn't always mean becoming. It's a reminder to make my days count, not just stack them up. And, gratitude is powerful. Even writing down three things a week shifted how I face hard moments. Let me say this: gratitude doesn't erase the storm, it reminds you why it's worth walking through. The past can weigh a lot: bullying, hurt, family pressure. It lingers, but your story isn't locked. I refrain mine piece by piece. Your wounds are warnings, they're blueprints. I remind myself that. Relationships, I've had seasons in life where I've shut people out when I needed them the most. But connection saves lives. Don't let isolation trick you in thinking you're alone. And how about success? What does it mean to you? For me, it used to be about achievements and proving myself and things like that. But now it's about, for me, becoming someone I'm proud of, with or without trophies. To me, real success is living without the weight of pretending. Goals are part of that too, right? Writing my down made me actually chase them. If you can see it, you can move toward it. Boundaries keep me honest, and I learned that if I don't guard my progress, old habits creep back in fast. So I remind myself, don't decorate the cage you're trying to escape. Habits build a bridge between who I am and who I want to be. I focus on small wins. Big changes grow from little steps. Identity is everything. I had to separate who I am from what I do. I remind myself daily, you are more than your title and your scars. And I'm a big bona fide mistake maker. I make lots of mistakes, but I use mistakes as launch pads. I missed a lot of shots in life, but every one of them taught me something. Failure isn't the finish line, it's a reroute. And resilience is learned, it's not a gift. I teach myself to rise even when I stumble. You don't need permission to bounce back. And what about self awareness? Self awareness is the mirror that shows you what's hidden. I check mine often, even when it's uncomfortable. You can't fix what you refuse to face. And what about legacy? What do you want to leave behind? I ask myself that a lot. Your story doesn't just shape you, it shapes everyone who watches you rise. So let me leave you with this. Are you going to keep living in your suck or decide right here, right now to do something about it? The map's in front of you. The question is, will you take the first step? This is Adriel. That's it for today. Thanks for listening. I'll see you on the next video. Peace and love. Be blessed and be a blessing.